Good morning, everybody. My name is Danny Venna. I'm broadcasting live from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Today is October 15, 2014. It is now almost 2:30 in the afternoon. So, excuse me, I should say good afternoon. And that I've been at this all day. That's why I said good morning, because to me, I feel like I just started. And that behind me, we have some information about our dojo, Ed McGrath School of Ishinryu, Karate Do. It's my email address, kudan59@gmail.com. And today what we would like to go over with you is our program. This is what we do here. We should show you this. There we are in the AOKA dojo. Okay. It's something that is displayed at every class in honor of Don Nagel's American Okinawan Karate Association. That's what AOKA stands for. So, one of the things that we do at the dojo, of course, is teach the Ishinryu curriculum. And that is what Sensei Nagel brought home with him from the island of Okinawa. Now, while he was there, he studied under the founder, Tatsuo Shimabuku Sensei. Mr. McGrath studied under Don Nagel, and I studied under Mr. McGrath. Mr. McGrath now has come to his part in the journey as the leader of, he is the inheritor of Don Nagel's AOKA, and I am the inheritor of Ed McGrath School of Ishinryu. So what we do is we continue to perpetuate the dream of Tatsuo Shimabuku by teaching youngsters, teaching adults, working with law enforcement, working with our military, working on survivor programs, doing all of the things that help contribute to getting the curriculum out there. So here in Wake Forest, North Carolina, we have the headquarters for Ed McGrath School of Ishinryu, because that's where I am. We do have on the East Coast, we have representatives up and down the East Coast, some of which are Sensei McGrath's original black belts, and that they have their own dojos, but they do practice under the AOKA, Ed McGrath School of Ishinryu banner. So we just made a new patch that says in honor of Don Nagel's AOKA. Ed McGrath School of Ishinryu is on the bottom, and they have the fist of the Ishinryu no Nomagami. The dojo is open. We have set classes, okay, but the dojo is open all day, every day, 7 days a week. We work out here. There is a space. If I was to turn the camera around, you would see that there's a driveway right here, and we work out right on the driveway. And on inclement weather days, we go to the gazebo, which gives us cover from the weather. When it gets cold, we use the inside living room, where it's a pretty big room, and it's got a wooden floor, so it's a great place to work out. We can even do the weapons in there because there's enough space. So we have the headquarters here in my home. There are dojos. There are dojos here in Apex. Sensei Dean Scott has us from time to time. We go to Maryland, the John D. Remick School of Ishinryu, with Sensei Colangelo. He has become one of my students now. He has been promoted to 6th degree black belt by me. and he is he serves me as my daichi in that area, and that he has a very thriving school. His school does very well. He's originally from the Toby Coolings sensei lineage, and his sensei John D. Remick Sr. studied with Toby Coolings, and Sensei has since passed away. Sensei Remick is no longer with us. So Sensei Colangelo came to Ed McGrath School of Isshinryu, and since he has been under my tutelage, he has done a great job. A great job. He's a great sensei, and we're very glad to have him representing Sensei McGrath and Sensei Remick. So the dojo in that area, we are continuing to build. Like Andy Sloan right now, he's serving in the Navy on the island of Okinawa. He's also a grand representative for Isshinryu Karate because, first of all, he's got great skill. He's a 5th degree black belt, and that a great representative of the curriculum. Anything that Sloan Sensei does, one is the pure architecture of Isshinryu, and the senseis that he comes from also come from the Don Nagel line, so they resemble us. They resemble our interpretation of what Don Nagel gave us. I got it through Sensei McGrath, and Sensei McGrath took us to visit Sensei Nagel, and Sensei Nagel was able to give us his, influence, but all of the learning that I've ever done in Isshinryu comes from Sensei McGrath. I have gone to see many, many sensei. I travel. I go from dojo to dojo. I do seminars. I do workshops. I do work online. I get the message out there. So I've been around, some real quality Isshinryu masters here in the United States. No matter what line that they come from, they all have a tremendous offering when it comes to the curriculum in Isshinryu, because it's their interpretation. We're all very, very similar now because the internet, social media has brought all of the heads of state together, and we all realize that Isshinryu is a modernized art by Shimabuku Sensei that gives us a curriculum that allows us to practice in a way that's very simple, easily adaptable, and, like I said, modernized. So the Jitsu and Al-Karate happens to be fairly new, in that it comes from all of the inherent Jitsu on the island of Okinawa, melding those curriculums together, building the Isshinryu curriculum and its katas and its kabuto, all produced a result that when the Marines came back home, even though they didn't have the entire curriculum in them yet, because it was still being built by the founder, they had the architecture and the engineering behind the Jitsu in them. And that's all that mattered. My case in point. If I teach a young student, let's say, for instance, Seisan Kata, all right? If I don't teach them the principles given to us by Sensei Nagel, the kata won't look the way Sensei Nagel wanted it to look. The way Shimabuku sent him home with this curriculum, so that the subtle differences, the way we apply the techniques, those subtle differences would show, such as the vertical fist, thumb on top, heel toe, the speed, balance, focus concept. when when teaching a youngster who doesn't really know anything about martial arts, if you give them the original principles that Don Nagel gave us, you install those principles in that student, teach them a kata, and what comes out of that, even though they don't know the kata and they don't know really much about Ishinru, they're just new in the system. The kata looks a certain way. The stances are not wide. We don't corkscrew punch anymore. There was a time when Ishinru did entertain, the Shorinru style blocking, bone on bone. We have since evolved from that. Our blocks are more strikes than blocks. Rather than trying to stop force with force, we would rather block, knock it out of the way, and strike. These concepts exist in other martial arts. I'm not saying that they don't. But the way it was presented to us, that if we build a student with the proper architecture and engineering of Ishinru in them, no matter what kata we give them now, Seisan, Seiyuchi, Nahanchi, Wansu, any one of the 8 empty hand katas, they apply these constant principles to their application of technique, and they look like Ishinru practitioners. You can tell the difference between a good Ishinru practitioner and, let's say, someone from another style. Okay. In teaching at the dojo here in North Carolina, all of what I teach is what you will get from any Ed McGrath School of Ishinru Black Belt. Any one of us will teach you the common denominator, and that is the Ishinru principles of retraction, leaving energy, when you're stepping in our katas, you're stepping in a very, the patterns are, especially in Seisan kata, because it's the first kata that we teach you, besides Sanjin, and that is the footwork patterns in the kata have you changing directions like you would in a fight. When you fight, if you do this in a fight, it's not good. It's not good. I would rather, as this comes in, put this over here and move it. That creates an element of surprise, number one. Number two, you're automatically, because of your action, in a position of advantage, not disadvantage. So it's a very wonderful concept, the principles of Ishinru. So that's the amazing thing, when you teach a youngster the principles of Ishinru and they apply it to their jitsu and their kata and their kumite and ippon kumite, we ask every student here to develop their own routine, their own kata, so that they can utilize their favorite moves and sort of have a Sun Tzu of their own. Something to go home and practice with. Something that they do repetitiously over years and years and years of study with their hands and feet. Practicing speed, balance, focus, heel-toe concept, thumb on top, making sure that the original principles of Ishinru don't erode. You have to keep that bent knee structure. That it's almost like you're a springboard, because if you apply the principles to your fighting, one of them is you have to be able to change directions at any time. And remember, I said directions. That's plural, not direction. You have to be able to change directions at any time. So you may be heading in one direction, but you see that that's not good and you go in another direction, that's not good and you go in another direction. All in that same second. These are concepts and principles that when applied to a new student, they have this quality of speed, the element of speed in their everyday routine, because we drilled it into the footwork. The first thing I ever learned from Sensei McGrath was how to move out of the way quickly. All right, now, the first time I did it, he says, well, you jumped away too far. You got away, but you got away too far. Now you got to start all over again. And that's not good, because in a fight, starting all over again may not give you the option to respond. So where you put your body is, essential. The next thing is looking at the curriculum that we speak and teach here. All of what we do, well, I'll just do it right here. I'll just do it in red right here. Everybody, when they fight, is either a linear fighter or an angular fighter. Whether you meet the fight head on or you step to the side and meet the fight to the side. Now, you can do that in many different ways: standing up, falling down, and on the ground. Okay, so most fights wind up, or you would want them to, wind up on the ground, where you're in a position of dominance, and your attacker or your opponent is asking you to stop putting pressure on them. All right. So everything that we teach here is all based around circular energy. Now, we learned this as youngsters, that if you put water in a pail and you swing it around, the centrifugal force of that circle keeps the water in the pail, so that when the water gets up here, it doesn't fall on you. So, looking at the pattern of approach, the way we teach you to use the kata to achieve your balance in the fight. That's basically what we're talking about here. And that's why our patch is circular, because in the patch, the patch has a white border in a circular motion, or in a circular design, I should say. Okay? And what that means is there's no beginning, no end. The white is for the white belts, the young students that are coming into the system. Now, when I say young, I don't mean young in age. A young student could be somebody who's just starting in Nishinryu, but they're 50 years old. Okay, so I call them young students because they're fresh. But the Essence patch, that's our school patch, was designed by Sensei McGrath and Sensei Lula Siri back in 1972 to represent the white belts, the black belts, and the masters. That's why it's white, black, and red. Everything that we teach here is about that circle. Is about cutting that circle into quadrants. That's fours. Everybody stands in fours. Your job here is to protect that circle. If this is you in the middle, that's your center, let's say, you're standing up and that's your center. Your job is to protect this circle, front and back. and sides. No easy task. No easy task. I've been at it my whole life. It's not something that you just can take lightly. Okay, so it takes many, many years of practice to learn how to apply the proper movements at the right time so that you protect this circle. Even if you have to move it around the fight. So, our contact information again is my email, kudan59@gmail.com. kudan59@gmail.com. Have any questions? Shoot me an email. Let me know who you are. Our job is to promote the teachings of the sensei, Tatsuo Shimabuku. He passed his knowledge on to those American Marines who came home and taught all of us. And our job is to promote these concepts within the martial arts, and everything that I've seen to date promotes these concepts. Circular directions, angular movements, and application of jitsu that's devastating. Devastating. So we're big on control movements. Sensei McGrath said that now that the world has changed the way it is, you just can't, excessively beat people and hurt them. So assessing each situation, obviously individually, because everything is different. I wish the fighting could go the same all the time, but it doesn't. So assessing each situation on an individual basis, when faced with adversity, where you put this matters the most. If you think you're going to head on a fight and win, the bullfighter doesn't. The bullfighter entices the bull, and just as the bull strikes, he moves. He steps. Even if it's in the same circle as the bull, he doesn't allow the horns to touch him. Okay? So that's knowing the circle. That's knowing how to apply your body. We have a stance in Isshin-ryu that's called Shinto. Shinto, the way it was explained to me, doubles the distance. Because you don't really step backward to get away from the attack. The attack's coming, all right? It's coming. So if you move backward, you're giving up momentum as he's gaining momentum, and that's not a good thing in a fight. You have to misdirect momentum. It's not good to have two momentums coming together. It's painful. Take it from me. The bones are 55 now. So where you step, Shinto allows you. Where you step, Shinto allows you to pass the guard, get that initial blow past you. Now you haven't moved yet. You just put one leg behind the other, took this shoulder out of the fight. The aggression's right here, all right? So again, you're in a position of advantage now because you're inside. When you're outside of a fighter, that's one thing. When you're inside with a fighter, that's something else. So it takes a tremendous amount of practice to be able to utilize stepping motions to adjust this and not. Hello, Jackie. That's my youngster, Jackie. and not get hit. Okay, so the 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 whole point of being able to not only move this circle, but when stepping, using both angular, circular, and linear motions at the same time, incorporating all three patterns in your way of stepping allows you to deal with aggression coming into this area, that's violent, that could do damage to you. So where you put this when attacked is what you learn here. I like to consider good Isshinryu fighters inside fighters, but then they're gone. They do the damage and then they're gone. And let me define gone. Once you have protected this area and secured it, you have the option of applying a technique on someone that you don't have to hurt them, but you're still hurting them, if you understand what I mean. You're putting enough pressure on them that, all right, stop now. And if they don't comply, more pressure gets applied. So there's the balance of, number one, why we start with quadrants, because that's easy. Breaking the circle up into fours is easy. Once you start getting into eighths, sixteenths, 30 seconds, then 64ths, now you're getting into areas where, as Sensei Steinberg preaches, the difference between me hurting you and killing you is literally millimeters. All right? It's the difference is so small that, again, that's why when you become a black belt, you have this understanding, number one, of the body, and when you strike different areas of the body, what happens, what the reaction is of that, and what the result is of that. And on different people, it varies. If you're fighting a man who, works out with weights, resistance training, those people, they have layers of muscle on them. So for you to penetrate that muscle and do any damage, it may not work for you. So I want to underline here with this concept, no false sense of security. You cannot expect, nor can I expect you to do something impossible. However, when you're in a fight, in order for you to get a positive result from a negative, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of control. It takes time for you to get it right, be proficient at it, and know that it is what it is. So that when you call on that tool, it works for you, and it works every time. That's what you learn here. A simple little thing like, I make a triangle, because a triangle, has several points to it. Okay, it has several, areas in a very small frame. I'm not a big person. I'm only 5'11". So if you look at my triangle when I'm in a heel toe posture, it looks very unassuming, even if I have my knees bent a little bit. So let's say this was my heel, right, to my right foot, and this is the heel to my left foot. Everything that we do in the dojo so that everybody looks the same, and we can start the same way every time, is we start with our left foot out in front. Yoi stance is where your feet are even, yoi, and then Seisan stance, left foot out in front, start. So, again, the first thing that you learn here is the triangle, how the triangle works. And since your triangle is basically inside a circle, here is a triangle right here, here, and here. That's a triangle inside of a circle. So that's the wonderful thing about Shinto. Shinto allows you to build a triangle by only moving one foot, which is a very interesting concept. I see that the videos run 31 minutes. So that's about all that I have to say about this video. We're going to be posting separate kata videos, Seisan, all the way up through Sun Tzu, and then with a highlight of Sun Tzu and San Chin, and Shinto. So there's going to be the 8 empty hand katas, then there's going to be a highlight on Shinto, a highlight on Sun Tzu, and a highlight on San Chin. We will have a highlight on Kusan-ku, but Kusan-ku is going to be a different topic. So over the next several weeks, what we're going to do is, because we've been asked for this a couple times now, and I got to get it done. Jacob has helped me build all of the 8 empty hand katas. Sensei Shalon has helped me build all of the Kabuto katas that I want to present to the community. However, in gaining some of the new students that have been coming to us online, what we're looking to do is give them some instructional videos about each one of the empty hand katas. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to build specific YouTube videos going through Seisan, Seiyuchin, Nihonchi. We'll take those 3 videos and we will compile the breakdown of the movements. We'll go through the position and posture of the movements, the application of the movements, and then of course a basic bunkai. Now remember, bunkai, as you grow in martial arts experience, bunkai can be expanded. It can't be changed, but it can be expanded as you learn more foot patterns, more jitsu, more application of jitsu, and you know how you step in your circle. So look for those videos, and then over that time we'll be blasting those links out so everybody can take a look at them and join us, because we're going to put up a class schedule next. The next video that I'm going to build is going to have a class schedule based around, you know, the world time zones, because a lot of the people that we're reaching are in different time zones, even here in the States. So we have to work out that schedule so that it's available to you know, to the different time zones. So again, my email, kudan59@gmail.com. Any questions, any comments, concerns, whatever you want to ask, feel free to write, drop me a line, I'll close with this. The Modern Combat Masters radio program is on tonight and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time. You can tune into the program live. We invite you to call in, of course. You want to spend a couple of hours with us on the radio, call in. I run the switchboard for Professor Sargent, and I can't always get everybody on, but when you call in, it shows support, and sometimes while the professor is doing the interview, I may jump off and speak to you and tell you, or maybe ask you if you have a question, and if I can get you on, I will. So, Modern Combat Masters, let me get you the phone number. Every Wednesday night, we invite you to call in, and that is at 9 o'clock, my time, Eastern Standard Time. You dial 646-716-6825, and you can join us on the program. And then if my time, if you're, I don't know what, from what time zone you are in, but if you are not able to listen in live on the broadcast, you can do two things. You can listen to it in our archives, and you can ask for the podcast to be downloaded to your account, and you can listen to us anytime you want them. All right. I get the podcast because obviously I'm the co-host on the show, and I need to listen to the episodes anyway. But the more people that I can get signed up on the podcast, that when I'm broadcasting, even if it's out of your time zone, you still get our program. So I encourage everybody to sign up for our podcast and listen to us live if you can. So Modern Combat Masters every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Tonight we have a very special guest. He's a Goju-Ryu practitioner, and he's from the Peter Urban line of black belts, and that this month, October, Professor Sargent, our host, designated it as Karate Month, Karate Do Month. And this gentleman is a Goju-Ryu practitioner, and we're very excited and pleased to have him on the program. And at 9 o'clock tonight, he'll be with us. So we look forward to hopefully having you join us. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. Again, Ed McGrath School of Isshin-Ryu. My email address, kudan59@gmail.com. Thanks, folks.